Hello friends, the 597 days of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. In the Melitopol sector, according to Ukrainian telegram channels, the Ukrainian armed forces have partial success with Robotine. Also, according to them, the enemy is trying to counterattack near Verbove and Novoprokopivka. Today's General Staff report states that the Russians unsuccessfully tried to restore their lost position in the Robotine area. Meanwhile, Western experts record the advance of the Ukrainian army north of the village of Kopani and west of Verbove. My friends, the robot will continue.
A large article about the situation on the Zaporizhia front was published by the French agency France Presse. Journalists spoke with Ukrainian soldiers from the 65th Brigade who said that Ukraine does not fully control the village of Robotine on the Zaporizhia front, and the statement about its release was PR. According to these military personnel, the settlement has no strategic value. We could bypass it. We like announcements, big victories. But in reality everything is different, says one of the fighters of the Ukrainian armed forces. Ukrainian troops still cannot move freely around Robotine because it is constantly being attacked by Russian artillery. Therefore, the military considers it a gray zone and cannot gather a significant amount of heavy equipment and military personnel here. The fighters say the Ukrainian army is advancing slowly and with heavy losses. The military advances at dawn in small groups through forest belts. If you move during the day, it is 100% death, said one of the military men. There are 3 to 5 minutes to move between Russian attacks and there are no close fights. Russia's superiority in artillery shells and drones is 1 to 2 Ukrainian to 5 Russian. Today there was also an explosion in Melitopol. This was confirmed by the representative of the Russian administration Rogov. Later, the Ukrainian armed forces stated that this was the work of Ukrainian saboteurs who blew up the railway track. The explosion damaged the railway track and the train, which was delivering ammunition and fuel for the Russian army. Thus, as stated, the Russians in the Zaporizhia direction were cut off from supplies. The Ukrainian offensive is off schedule, but not everything has gone wrong, said the head of military intelligence, Budanov. This is how he commented on his words spoken in February that the war could end this year. We got out of it. We are not behind, but we got out. This is a completely different interpretation, Budanov said. To the journalist's clarifying question whether this meant that everything had gone wrong, he replied, not everything has gone wrong. Let's not clarify or explain all this. We are behind schedule. Let everyone draw their own conclusion. He says there are objective and subjective reasons for this, but he did not disclose them, citing state secrets. In the meantime, the United States is confident that Ukraine will continue offensive operations in the winter. This was announced by the new head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the U.S. Army, Charles Brown. I understand that there are more challenges in winter, but Ukraine is determined to advance in winter. We will also continue our assistance, Brown said. At the same time, there are factors that may negatively affect the volume of military assistance to Ukraine. One of them, the head of military intelligence Budanov, sees a war in Israel. My subjective opinion, if the conflict is limited in time, up to several weeks, then in principle there is nothing to worry about. But if the situation drags on, it is clear that there will be certain problems with the fact that it will be necessary to supply weapons and ammunition not only to Ukraine, said Budanov. The second factor is the finite supply of supplies in the West and the internal opposition, which opposes increasing aid to Ukraine. We will continue to help Ukraine as much as we can, but it will not be indefinitely, U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said yesterday. As much as we can, this, it should be noted, is a slightly different formula than as much as it takes, which was sounded earlier. At the same time, the American media write that in fact, Pentagon representatives are concerned about the need to continue supplies of ammunition to both Ukraine and Israel over time. CNN reports that so far the needs of Israel and Ukraine are different, and if in Kiev they mainly require artillery ammunition, then in Jerusalem they require missiles for the Iron Dome complex and high-precision weapons. Despite this, Washington has expressed concern that if Israel launches a ground operation in the Gaza Strip, it will require a huge amount of artillery shells.
Friends, considering what is happening in my country, this channel is now my only source of income. If you are able to support me financially, I will be very grateful. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.